We're on.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Crysalyst Life. I'm Katrina White.
And I'm Susan Lynne.
So, Susan, today we are going to talk about...
The subject today is welcome the stranger within.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
The phrasing
big topic.
I know. And I have studied psychology for years, and I've read a lot about the mind. And I read this article maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And that phrasing to me was fascinating.
Love it.
Welcome the stranger within. So what did that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So in the article it said, okay, have you ever noticed that you have a thought that pops into your mind that seems completely unlike you?
All the time.
That. And it said, this is so unusual, it just feels so foreign to you. So take some time with it. Now for me, I had this little voice that popped in when I was doing something really difficult. I was riding up a hill on my bike.
Okay.
And then I wasn't enjoying it. And a voice popped in, not a voice, not crazy.
The voice from above.
Could have been. In this case, it wasn't. It's what I get is sometimes what I call a thought sentence.
Got it.
Where it just kind of pops in out of nowhere kind of feeling. And this voice said, I hate life and I want to die.
Wow. Hello.
I know. And that felt awful to me because I love life and I want to live.
Yeah.
It was the actual antithesis of how I feel day to day.
Wow.
And yet I thought, wow.
It's huge.
Where did that come from? And it popped in from somewhere. It popped in from my mind somewhere. And so this article really helped me because I happened to have read it right around the same time, which often happens, a coincidental thing like that. And so I thought, well, okay, what is this coming from? What part of me is this coming from? And I did get in touch with, just meditatively and journaling, which we've talked about previously. I got in touch with the inner child in me, and some people find that term like, what the heck is that?
Yeah. So
it's just a collection of memories from a certain age. That's it. That where life was really hard for me when I was little. And I think this was around the time when I was probably about 3 when I broke my collarbone. And I was like, this is no fun. I don't want to even be here. I mean, it's so confusing. I didn't understand how I broke it and what is this pain thing. So I realized a little part of me had popped up to say, hey, pay some attention to me. Like there is an unhealed wound here, a scar that wants some comforting and some attention. So I thought, well, I could journal. How do you pay attention to your inner child? When that pops up, it's like, welcome. The idea in the article was, instead of what we want to shove that voice away. It's not pleasant.
No.
The thing happens though is, we do that so much in our life that it's just going to pop out sideways anyway and kind of derail you when you're in the middle of something that you really want to do. So it's better when it pops up to say, oh, thank you. Let me pay some attention to this unwanted thing and welcome this. And what can I learn from it? So Kat, how could you welcome the stranger within? Like, it's not a person you open the door, let's have a cup of tea. Like what can you do?
Yeah.
It's so mysterious. Like, do you have any ideas on like how would you welcome the stranger within?
Well, I had to because it was knocking on my door so loudly and ringing every doorbell and screaming through a megaphone saying, hello, you forgot about me. Where have you been?
Wow.
And it would remind me through a wide variety of ways, from illnesses or thoughts that would pop in my head that weren't very happy thoughts.
Yeah.
And I go, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
And like you said, that stranger within. And it always went back to that little child who we've ignored. I mean, we all were little children at one time.
Yeah.
We all have good, bad, and icky kind of things that are stored within us, the memories that are stored.
Oh, your body and your mind never forgot.
Well, exactly. And so that child comes out, and if we're not nurturing that child rears its head to say hello.
Yeah.
And it's not usually in a very overt manner. It's usually quite covert until such time it's not being heard, it screams loudly.
Yeah.
Like what happened with yours.
Yeah.
So when that happens, what I've done is, first of all, I will just sit there and go, whoa, what is going on?
Yeah.
Who's talking?
Like, be curious about it.
Exactly. I wouldn't run away. I wouldn't push it down.
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't anymore.
Me too.
And I listen to it and go, oh, hello, little girl. My little Karen.
Yeah.
In this case. And what's up today? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What do we need to know?
Yeah.
Because it needs some love. It needs
Yeah.
to be heard.
Yeah.
And I like your idea about the journaling, because the child will come out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I actually have gone down to the park and sat on swings.
That is
And
so
I've been
nice.
swinging or jumping in puddles with my
Yes.
wellies on.
Yep.
And or doing very childlike things.
Yeah.
And stuff just starts popping up.
Yes.
Because first of all, she's happy because I'm doing all this child stuff.
Yes.
But also the other stuff starts popping up going, yeah, you're hearing me.
Yes.
Okay, well, I've got to tell you a few things that we need to release.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit, well, I used to think it was very woohoo, but it's not.
Yeah, it's just,
You know, this is stuff that's still within you.
it's just a human process.
Yeah, and as children, because we're in that theta state from 0 to 7,
Right.
age 7.
You just take everything in like a sponge. All you're doing is learning. You don't have any
Exactly.
worldly wisdom.
No, and it's
You
sitting
just
in the
learning
subconscious.
by just sponging it up.
Exactly. And you have no
Filter.
filter
Yeah.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so something that might have been super traumatic to you at age 3,
Yeah.
as an adult, you go, yeah,
Right. I broke my
But it
collarbone.
still wants to
but
be heard.
Scary, yeah.
Right? That
Mhm.
fear is still sitting there. Or maybe that joy is sitting there and it wants to come up. Because it's not always about fear-based
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah,
right? Or
yeah.
tragedy.
Yeah.
It can be about happy stuff. And if you're like, you know, living in a place of doom and gloom and fear, and, you know, everything's going wrong in the world, the little child will rear itself up to say, it's not so bad. You're
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Go do something fun.
Yeah.
Go something fun for yourself.
Yeah. And it could be that stranger within is your inner child, or it could just be any part of the personality, because we're all just
Yes.
made up of a bunch of parts.
Right.
Sort of can be kind of thought of as different roles that you have, like the provider,
Right.
the steady provider person,
The caregiver.
Yeah, the caregiver, the
All the archetypes, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and they're all parts of us.
Yeah.
And at times, certain parts just want to be expressed. You might you notice that you want to maybe paint sometimes, or you want to read sometimes, and it's to listen to that and to indulge in those pursuits, those creative pursuits, to find full expression of all of the parts. And so if something pops in, it's for, I find, it's for my learning, my growth, and my healing. So however weird it is, I sit with it and I go, I might even look it up on the internet, like, what is this kind of thing? Or do an activity like coloring. Like something
coloring.
very childlike, like get a crayon out and scribble with no lines, and you're making nothing. You're scribbling on a page, something that feels so childlike. And sometimes talk to somebody about it, like Kat and I can, because we both speak this language. And sometimes have a good cry has happened because of that. And then it's like, phew, that's released, that's great.
I
That
love
was
that.
coming up because I needed to just have a good cry about that.
I
And
love
it's
that.
like moving through it. Instead of being rigid and just shoving these things aside, it's like feel it, fully look at it, express it, and then it's going to just drift off.
I love that.
Yeah, because the more we just shove things aside, the more they're like, it's this kind
They'll
of,
come back.
it's this push and pull, this need to be acknowledged.
Absolutely. And don't think for a moment that it's not going to rear its head.
Sure,
Because it's always going to say, hello, I'm still here.
yeah, I need expression and
I
healing.
need to be heard.
Yeah, and be heard. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's okay.
and that's good.
So be
it's
with it.
Good.
Tap into
Yeah.
that inner child or
Yeah.
the others within you.
Yeah, all the parts.
You know, it's not a
that we're all made of.
schizophrenic thing
Yeah,
at all.
it's all
It's
parts.
who you are.
We're all made of all these parts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's good.
it is good.
We hope that provided you with some good insight into the fact that it's okay to listen to this voice that shows up.
Yes, welcoming the
Every
stranger.
so often.
Yeah, welcoming the stranger within.
That's
Everything we do with Crysalyst Life, is about going within
That's right.
for a more full life.
That's how you create the life you love. So thank you very much for joining us for this episode.
Thank you for joining us.
And we'll see you again.
We love you.
We do. Ciao, ciao.
I think that's a wrap.
Absolutely.
And see you. All right. Away we go. She just loves that.
I do. I love it. I just think it's so cute. Bye.